We were there.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Well, good evening, Panther fans, and welcome to the PrimeStar Home Health Coaches Show. I'm Ben Hackler here with head coach Lee Doty. And, Coach, beautiful week and a great win Friday night. How did you have the weekend go?
It was great. Got to enjoy some time and took Saturday and, kind of enjoyed the win and then right back at it. And just, it's just warm for this time of the year.
No doubt.
And we're in construction. And, it's really dry.
I noticed a cloud kind of hanging over you guys.
They were moving dirt today, and the wind was blowing right across the field. So we all got a good dirt shower.
Yeah,
and,
no doubt.
So, yeah, we're doing fine. We're doing fine.
Well, Coach, I wanted to ask you, this week's homecoming week, and I know that brings kind of some mixed emotions for a football coach, but there are some good things, too, that a chance for the community to kind of celebrate together, honoring the past, enjoying kind of what we've got going on now, but also a lot of things happening to help us get towards the future. And so I just wanted to ask you tonight kind of a way to segue into that. What are some of the things you see right now that folks need to be grateful for and celebrating now, and then even things that maybe excite you going into the future?
Well, I think, we're going to have a big crowd Friday night. And, I told our kids yesterday, I believe, homecoming is really a great thing. We want them to have fun. We want them to enjoy themselves, but we need to make sure we understand, the task at hand. And so I'm really hopefully we can stay focused on what we got to do. Alumni, it's really great for alumni to come back and spend some time in, and they'll get to see the improvements that we're making. And and we got a lot of young kids that are playing. We got a young group coming up out of the 8th grade that we're really excited about. So the future's bright here, and hopefully everybody can come see and enjoy what's going on.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, let's get to our McDonald's Senior Spotlight, our last one of the season, and we've saved the best for last.
Absolutely.
So grateful to have Miss for McDonald's and Miss Jennifer Thomas here tonight. And who is our senior tonight?
It's Sean McNair. Sean, come on up. We waited for 8 weeks to get this guy back on the field, and we were able to get him on the field last week some against Bastrop. Of course, he'll be on the field a lot more this week, and hope to have him full-time for week 10. So Sean McNair, he's battled this injury, but I'm going to tell you about Sean. He hadn't missed any practices, all the meetings. He's done everything that everybody else has done. He just hadn't got to play. And so he was excited last week when we got him in for a few plays, but he's going to play more this week, and he's going to make us better, no doubt. So Sean McNair, let's give him another hand.
Thank you, Sean. Again, that's our senior spotlight brought to us by McDonald's. Well, Coach, let's talk a little football. Big win for the Panthers Friday night. Go over to Bastrop and knock off the Rams 37-22. One of the questions probably a lot of folks are wondering about was kind of some of the pregame stuff when the lights weren't working. Coach, what was the discussion on the field about the lights? And it seemed like there for a moment we may not even get to play.
Well, there's several different options that we were discussing. One of them was come to Sterlington and play. And then they realized that wasn't going to work because none of their coaches have CDLs and can't drive buses. So they were going to have to call bus drivers to try to get buses, and so we may have been 10:30 starting, but Tank and I both wanted to play the game, and then we discussed playing the game with just the 2 sets of lights, and they had to call Baton Rouge, I think, to see if that was fine. They really didn't want us to do that, and then we kind of insisted that that's what we wanted to do, and that's kind of where we went from there.
Yeah.
And just played. And we realized once we start, if the lights went back out, we're going to keep playing.
Yeah. Well, William and I both agreed it was more light than what we were used to playing with when we were in high school. So you guys were still in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I think so too.
On that. Well, Coach, when the actual game got going, what were your thoughts? And we'll talk some specifics in a moment, but what were your kind of initial thoughts on the game looking back Friday night and how your team performed?
I thought we played pretty well. I thought defensively we played really well. I think they had less than 100 total yards of offense going into the 4th quarter. I thought we just got after them really well. I was really proud of our defensive effort. I thought special teams was outstanding the other night. We didn't turn the ball over on offense, I don't believe, and we didn't turn the ball over on offense. And if we don't turn it over, we're in good shape.
Yeah.
And we had some really good drives, and had a couple fourth down conversions, and just overall, just a good game. Was really happy with our kids.
Yeah, and Coach, I thought this week we'd switch it up. Normally, I start with your offense and talk about how good they played, so I do want to do that. But I want to begin with your defense because going into that fourth quarter, you had held Bastrop to 6 points. Was all they had on the board at that point. You only gave up total on the night 68 yards rushing. I think they had 175 yards passing, but probably 60 to 80 of that came kind of the last few minutes there. What stood out to you for your guys on defense, and how were you able to kind of be successful against their offense?
Well, I mean, we had a good week of practice, first of all, and our coaches, our defense coaches, had a great game plan. Give them different looks, give them different fronts, give them different blitzes, and contain. And we wanted to make Dylan roll to his left. I mean, if he was going to get out of the pocket, we were going to try to make him go to his left. But he got out on the other side a couple times. But that was our game plan, and just try to keep pressure on them, and understand if they catch the ball, make them catch it in front of us, and make them drive it 10 to 12 plays, and let them make the mistake.
Yeah. Coach, it seemed like you played a lot of guys on defense Friday night, even before you got into the fourth quarter. You mentioned some of that. Who were some of those guys maybe that folks aren't used to hearing that maybe rotated in this week and played really well for you?
Well, Cade came in, played really well. Jalen played really well for us. Actually, he's our defensive player of the week. And we had several guys that came in. I think our safeties are getting better. We moved Sam back there and Green back there, and I think Green's getting better every week. And he had a couple plays the other night that we were excited about. Corners are consistently there to play and do a good job. So we just had a pretty good game. I thought our defensive line did a great job of getting after them. So just proud of them.
Yeah. Coach, a couple of other guys I wanted to kind of to mention. We talked a lot about Trey Birch coming into the season, and Trey has lived up to what we talked about, thought he would be. But can you talk just a moment about the emergence of Voker and even Connor Justice? We called both those names a lot Friday night.
Yeah, well, I mean, those guys just, I'm a big fan of both of them. Connor Justice, if you'll watch him, I told him I would pay just to go to a baseball game and watch him. He's a catcher. He's tough. I mean, he knows the game. He understands everything in baseball, and he's starting to translate that into football as well. And Drew is, we talked about playing some guys that's probably not ready. He got through in the fire as a 10th grader. Probably wasn't quite ready, but at this point in time, he's not a sophomore anymore. He's played enough games that he's a seasoned vet, and keeps getting better.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, offensively, again, a standout performance for your offense, 384 yards rushing, and it was really your offensive line. I know the backs, we'll talk about some of their standout things that they did, but your offensive line really seemed to set the tone. I even went in today and looked at the pancake board and just looking at scores, and really everybody right around that 80 or better mark. And when we do that, we seem to be do really well. Can you talk just a moment about the job that Coach Foster has done? We haven't talked a lot about Larry a lot, but just the job Coach Foster has done, because he's had a hodgepodge mix of players kind of all up to this point.
Right. I mean, he's done a great job. I mean, Coach Jansen assists him over there with the offensive line. I mean, we got two of the best offensive line coaches around. And, we added Roy, Coach Brown, to that mix this year as well. So we got three guys over there, and they just do a great job and doing a good job of getting after everybody. And, if you can go back and watch the film, the first initial surge of our offensive line, I mean, we had 4 or 5 guys 10 yards down the field.
Yeah.
And that just, you can't duplicate that. We talk about how you can't duplicate speed.
Right.
Well, you can't duplicate what we do on offense in 1 week. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
So people don't understand how fast it hits you.
Right. Absolutely. Well, Coach, your offensive line plays well. Those backs begin to get loose. Hagen Herrick again led all rushers with 159 yards and a score. I think he only had 12 carries, but 159 yards. J-Rob, another great job learning the reads, and seems to be learning more every week and making better reads. Had some nice runs. I want to talk just a moment about Gavin, though. Gavin Evans is doing some carries for you at fullback and at tailback. How important has his versatility been for you guys offensively?
It's been great, and that's his role. And he's the guy when we need him at fullback. He's the fullback when we need him tailback. He's the tailback. So he has two different things to learn, and he's running the ball really hard, and he wants to be great.
Yeah.
That's the thing about him. He wants to be great. He's upset when he's not playing great, and he works to get harder. But yeah, he's a big part of our program, no doubt.
Well, Coach, and I've watched Gavin too, some with TJ. I mean, TJ being the up and comer and really does a great job. But how much of a benefit for TJ, and TJ may not even realize this, is it to have a guy like Gavin in front of him that's be able to say, "Hey, here's what I've learned along the way."
I think TJ does understand it, and I see him talking a lot. And it's always great to have that upperclassman ahead of you, and TJ is going to push him.
Yeah,
I mean, he pushes him. So we got a really good situation there. And you throw Carter McClinton in, is going to get 4 or 5 carries a game, who also had a good night the other night.
Mm-hmm.
Our backs are good, and we knew it going in. We had a chance to be good. So doing a good job.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, you mentioned a moment ago just a great night for special teams. We did get to punt a few times there late in the fourth quarter, which I know some of that is you just needed to. You needed to get some live action punts on film and get your squad out there against somebody else besides the practice team. But there were a couple of highlight plays that I wanted to kind of get your input on that I thought were just they either were momentum gainers or they were just great plays on special teams. The first one was the opening kickoff. Aiden Parker drives it back to about the 1 and taken right at the goal line. Downs decides to bring it out, and right at the 5-yard line, Stephen English makes the tackle. What does a play like that from the start do for the emotions and kind of momentum of the game?
Well, I mean, we were excited about, getting them pinned deep down there. Steven's a freshman, and he's just one of those young guys that we put out there, and he gets better and better every week on a kickoff team. And, the guy can really run.
Yeah.
And that was a great spot for us. And, we had good coverage on that kick for sure. A great kick, kicked it down and deep in the left corner down there, right where we try to. And, great coverage.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, the other one was an onside kick that you guys recovered there in the second half following a personal foul on the 2-point try. So the ball is moved to the Ram 45-yard line. AP again gives you a great kick, great bounce on that, but probably a play I had not even thought about or seen. Cade Hollingsworth goes and as the defender is about to grab that ball, just slaps it away from him and is able to fall on it. And as you guys have worked on onside kicks, what do you tell those guys when they get close to the ball like that?
The ball's got to be yours. I mean, you got to own the ball when you get it. When it goes past that 10-yard line, you got to do whatever it takes to get it. And, we work on that a good bit. Aiden works on a lot. We talk about, slapping the ball back in bounds if it's going out of bounds. And just a lot of scenarios we work on. But Kay did a great job right there, no doubt.
Well, coaches, those units, kickoff return, punt, all those things, as they continue to get better, how does that kind of help shape the game plan that you guys are inputting each week?
Well, I mean, it's a three-part game plan. It's, offense, defense, and special teams has always been a part of it, at least since I've been here. And it's a huge part of it. So, I mean, we're going to practice those, and we're going to keep getting better at those. And, we went young with those teams early in the year. Now it's starting to pay off because now we can rest some starters on special teams. And, I think we had a 61-yard punt the other night. And, it was a great game for us.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, congratulations on that big win and remaining undefeated in district play. Coach, do you got some players of the week this week?
We do. Offense, we talked about J-Rob, and, J-Rob Breen is our offensive player of the week. Come on up, J-Rob. He had 3 touchdowns. He did a great job of running our offense the other night. Had almost 80 yards of rushing, and just did a good job of managing. Took some big licks after the whistle and got back up and kept on ticking. It was like a Timex. So, but let's give J-Rob a hand. Thank you, J-Rob.
Bud. Yeah, because there was a moment there, and I think it was on the personal foul that he took the second hit in a row.
Right.
And the way he just popped up and ran back to the sideline, I thought was a great moment. Defensive player, Coach.
Yeah, defense player. He's not here tonight. He had a homecoming event, I think. So, Jalen Bush. I mean, Jalen had a great game for us the other night, and that was the best game he's played this year, and he did a good job. And he's new to football. He's never played football before, so he had a heck of a game. So Jalen was our defensive player of the game. We can give him a big hand.
Absolutely.
He's not here. And special teams, we had 2. We went with 2. Aiden Parker had such a good night. We couldn't go without mentioning him. And Cade Hollingsworth on the great play on the onside kick.
Absolutely.
Aiden had, 2 touchbacks, a 61-yard punt, 40-yard field goal, successful onside kick, and several PATs. So proud of him, and Cade with the big play on the onside kick. And Cade's a sophomore, and he's starting to find himself on the field more and more every week. So he's going to get a lot of playing time this week too. So let's give a round of applause to these guys right here.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man.
Guys. That's our Players of the Week, brought to us by First Security Tyler Monroe and Mr. Mitch Houston. Panther fans, we're going to take a 1-minute break, and we'll be right back with more Coach's Show in just a moment.
Looking for a reason to try the new $5 meal deal at McDonald's? Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the price makes 5.
So much.
That's everything you get with the new $5 meal deal at McDonald's.
Choose PrimeStar Home Health. We'll provide the best care for your patient or loved one. From managing chronic conditions to wound care and therapy, we specialize in a wide range of services. PrimeStar Home Health. We have the skill to heal and the spirit to care.
Benoit Ford Chevrolet GMC in Farmerville is here to serve you and your family just like you are a part of ours. With 2 dealerships for you to find the perfect vehicle, Benoit is proud to offer great deals right here in the heart of North Louisiana. 206 South Main Street and 1001 Sterlington Highway in Farmerville, going the extra mile to offer you the best options for your vehicle needs. That's what we do. Stop by and join the Benoit family in your new vehicle from Benoit Ford Chevrolet GMC today.
Panther fans, we're back here with the PrimeStar Home Health Coaches Show. And, Coach, you've got your team positioned here heading into Week 9 to travel, or not travel, actually to have Carroll come to you this week with the district championship on the line. How important is that? Some folks think the district championships have lost their luster. They're not what they once were. But how important has that goal been for your team? And then what does that goal, or what could it have an impact on the power ratings for you guys?
Well, I've always thought it was a great thing to be district champion. We're not going to buy any district runner-up T-shirts around here, So I think district champions is something. I mean, we talk about it at the beginning of the year. That's one of our goals. And, we put ourselves in a situation to do that this week. So, and Carroll's coming in, we're going to get play-up points because they're in even though they're in the same district, they're in a division higher than us. So we'll get those play-up points. And, they've won some games. And looking at the schedule this week, I mean, we have a chance to have a big, big week in PowerPoints if we handle our business. So, we can win this game and move right in there where we're looking at, hey, win this thing next week. Now we're looking at a bye. And, I don't really like buys, but I think this year would be probably the year to have a bye so we can heal up some. So, I mean, it's huge for us this week. It's no doubt about it. And homecoming, district championship, PowerPoint game. So it's a big game for us.
Yeah. And Coach, I guess I need to ask you too, and just think about this as you talk about that. I mean, with the homecoming and the district championship all happening in the same week, there's a lot of good along with both of those things. But how do you, and I know you've already started the week this way, but how do you make sure that your kids, one, you do want them to enjoy some of the homecoming stuff, but two, take care of business?
Well, you just had to keep harping on it. I mean, you have to set a standard. This is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it. And you have to remind them 2 or 3 times a day sometimes. But, when you get in a situation where maybe it's not as much going on in the school as it usually is, and, teachers are maybe a little more lax because they're doing this and doing that, and it just gives you an opportunity to screw up.
Yeah.
And nobody has their thumb on you like they usually do. And so it's my job to keep my thumb on them. And that's what I'm trying to do. And I do want them to have fun. But, one of the things I told them, like, if you take away the football game Friday night, there is no homecoming.
Right.
So, if you really want to have fun, go win Friday night. That's fun.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be the team that lost homecoming game. So, there's several things we talk about and use. And as of right now, I told them today, and you were there, we've had 2 great days.
Yeah.
2 great days. So let's continue that and focus on the task at hand.
Well, Coach, Carroll does come in to Panther Stadium, Dale Ashley Field, Friday night. The Bulldogs had another kind of rough offseason, another head coaching change down there. But really, a lot of folks weren't expecting a lot out of Carroll. And they're sitting at 4-2, 2-0 in district play. Of course, their staff really are familiar faces to them. They are coming off their second bye. They've had 2 byes. You mentioned wanting to get 1 bye into the playoffs.
Right.
They're coming off of their second bye week of the season. Do you think, or how could that bye week factor into what you expect to see from them this week?
I think they're going to do what they do. I think they found some success with some of the things they've done the last couple of games. I don't see them adding a whole lot or doing a whole lot different. I mean, they're winning football games right now. So, the week off, if they've had some people that were banged up and bruised up, of course, that allowed them to get healthy. They had some momentum, though, going into the open date. Yeah. Does that affect them? I don't know. We won't find all that out till Friday night.
Well, Coach, what are your initial thoughts as you look at their offensive scheme? They're a spread team, but seem to be a team that wants to run the football first. What are your initial thoughts on their offense?
Well, I think they're guys their skill guys can really run. 5 can fly. I'd love to see him and the running back at Washita in a foot race. I'd probably pay to see that. I mean, that's how fast this guy is. And he broke a couple big runs against Bastrop. That was the key to them beating Bastrop, those big plays. So big offensive linemen, they line up, they do a good job. Pullers, and they like to pull certain ways. And, we feel like there's an opportunity there to make some plays on that. But the thing is, the running back, he's good too, and he can run. So you got to tackle these guys. You can't allow them to get full speed because we're not going to catch them.
Yeah.
If that happens, we're just not going to catch them. So we got to get them hemmed up and get them before the feet get going and penetrate and, make them bounce that thing outside some so we have a chance to run and get there. So, and we have some plans to do some different things. Again, our defense staff has a great plan, and, we just got to go execute it.
Well, Coach, when I looked at their offense on film, a lot of read option. I'm not sure how much of that is called, when it's give or do. How do you really approach defending the read option? And when you've got 2 players who really either one of them can take it to the house?
Well, it's a couple of ways we play it. Our defensive end chases, and then he stays at home. We have a call that kind of gives them different reads, different looks. And, there's some ways to get some corner blitzes in there, off the edge. So we got a few things, hopefully, that's going to get them guys and slow them down.
Yeah, well, Coach, on the flip side of the football, defensively for them against our offense, I'm not sure the films that I saw, nobody does what we do against them so far this year. So a lot of 3-man fronts for them.
Mm-hmm.
I saw maybe a couple of 4-man fronts. What are you guys preparing for, and what are you looking for this week from them defensively?
Well, I mean, we at this point in time, we've seen it all, so we prepare every day for a 4-man front, a 5-man front, a 6-man front. What we've been getting a lot of in our district is a 4-man front with 2 people walked up outside or 1 guy walked up outside. And, so we're preparing for all of that. They play a lot of those linemen. The offensive line play both ways on defense. Their linebackers are good. Number 1 is as good a defensive player as there is in our district. 43 is a big physical looking kid that plays inside. 6 in the secondary is like a ball hawk. I mean, you don't want to put the ball in the air anywhere he's around it because he'll go get it. So, we want to get in the secondary and make those guys tackle.
Right.
They're good coverage guys, but we want to see if they want to get physical and tackle with us. And that's kind of our plan. I mean, we're going into this thing and trying to make it a tough man contest and see if that's something they really want to get into.
Yeah, well, Coach, as we get into to end of Friday night, what are some of the things, maybe just from a team perspective, you're looking for from your team as a whole?
We got to tackle those guys with the ball in their hands. I mean, 2 plays quarterback as well, and he runs well too. And if he's in, then they can throw it. They like to throw it with him a little bit more than they do with 5. So defensively, we were having to plan for both quarterbacks right there. So just tackling and doing our thing, and again, just keep everything in front of you and make them drive the ball, and let them guys over there have to figure it out. And 10 and 12 play drives are hard to do.
Yeah,
but 1 play drives, they live for that, and just try to be better than them on special teams and offensively move the ball and don't put it on the ground.
Yeah, because even as you say that, I was thinking back to Friday night against Bastrop. Bastrop had some long, sustained drives, and one of the things you had said to me early on against some teams with speed was if you can just make them keep having to snap it again,
right,
and it lets your defense get in position, and you were able to do that.
Right.
So kind of the same game plan looking at this
right,
week with
right.
that speed.
You know, get them in fourth down, and get them in those fourth and longs and third and longs, and hopefully make a play.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, good luck this Friday night. Hoping to be talking to you next Tuesday as the district champ once again. I don't remember how many this would be, but it's been a pretty good run for the Panthers in this district, and might as well keep that standard there. And so good luck to you guys Friday night. Panther fans, want to remind you, kickoff will be at 7 o'clock, Panther Stadium, Dell Ashley Field. If you can't make it out to the ball game, you can watch here online. And we'll have you a pregame show with me and William at 6:45, and then kickoff will be right at 7 o'clock. Coach, final words before we sign off tonight?
Yeah, we'll be honoring our middle school teams.
Awesome.
After our warm-ups, probably about 6:40 tonight, Friday night, we'll be honoring them. They had another great year. And then homecoming will be the halftime festivities. We'll take care of all that. And, it'll be a great time. I expect a huge crowd. I really do. And I think the weather's going to be out of here. I think it's going to be a beautiful night for football. And I'm sure all these guys will be there too. And until then, as always, go Panthers.
All right. Well, Panther fans, that's going to do it for us tonight for the PrimeStar Home Health Coaches Show. Hope you have a good week, and we'll see you for homecoming at Panther Stadium Friday night, 7 o'clock.
What do you do after an awesome night of Panther football? You bring on the bowling for the fifth quarter. Bayou Bowl is the official fifth quarter sponsor of Sterlington Panther football. Just right down the road and on the right is where you'll find all the fifth quarter action. Yummy snacks and cold drinks from Alligator's Grill is inside Bayou Bowl and open 7 days a week. It's the perfect place to celebrate a Panther victory. So come on, join us at Bayou Bowl after every game for the official fifth quarter.